Freddie knows, oh yeah, Freddie goes, oh yeah. I got the 411 in my head, that's what Freddie said.
What's up, guys? It's EX Frederika week in War of the Visions. Oh yeah, you know I've been waiting for this for a while, and I'm stoked to be back from vacation in the Pacific Northwest. My wife said she didn't want me using any photos of our vacation on the channel, so instead, here's a picture of Frederika and I walking the streets of Portland, Frederika and I at the beach, and Frederika and I enjoying a romantic jaunt in Oregon Dairy Country. I really hope my wife doesn't watch this video. It's actually a pretty slow week here in War of the Visions, a couple of new EX units with Fred, Ayaka, and Murmur, some 3-star Espers, and of course the Tower, which, let's be honest, most of us will just do on auto. I do think Fred and Ayaka are both great EX options for free-to-play, which we will talk about in this video. We'll also take a quick look at all of the Visual traps that Gumi put in these summon banners and shops this week, and we'll get on with our week in a hurry. If you guys liked the video, bang bang, thumbs up, sub, and let's get going. First up, we're gonna blaze through these summon banners as quickly as we can. We have the new Dreams of Heroism vision card. We've talked about this in the planning guide. If you are an account that has a lot of Earth units, you can see the Earth area attack resistance, max HP, max TP. Earth is kind of a weird element right now, especially for free to play. We don't really know where this element is going for the future, even in JP. So do I recommend this card? No, not right now. You can just slow build it over time. It's not limited, but if you do run primary Earth, like EX Katone will be coming out here fairly soon, and then you run like Kilfei or maybe Moraga will be coming out soon as well, you could jump on this vision card, but most free to play players probably not spending the Visual on this card right now. This summon banner we're not touching whatsoever. You're just going to do the step up if you're looking for the card. Okay, a couple other new banners. We have 2,000 paid Visual for a guarantee of this card. This is pretty cool. You can basically just buy this card for 2,000 paid, so if you're a light spender, that's something you can do. We have this 2-step 10 times summon. You basically get Frederika guaranteed. It's actually not Frederika guaranteed. It's just 40 shards for her guaranteed. So 4,000 Visual for this. I wouldn't do this just for Frederika shards. You can buy enough Frederika shards in the shop, which we'll get to in a minute. So this banner for me anyway is a no-go, even with these couple extra bonuses like the Blossom and this Prism. Probably still wouldn't do this. Same thing with the Ayaka banner. Probably wouldn't touch this. If you're looking for Ayaka shards, I would just go to the shop, buy those directly. These Tower step up summons, for me, these are just a no-go. I know it is 10 units guaranteed and they're all wind and lightning, so I guess like my account is specifically wind and lightning. Those are by far my two strongest teams, and I'm still not doing this banner. I just think that you could save up this Visual and make sure that you're hitting those pity pulls for the collaborations that are coming up, like Final Fantasy VII. So you can see I'm already building up my Visual stash for that. I probably wouldn't be siphoning off small amounts of Visual on banners like this. So then we have the same thing, 2 UR units, or sorry, 2 times step up. You get a UR unit guaranteed. So I believe this is any of these characters that are shown here, so lightning or wind. I still don't really like this. You can usually find 2,000 Visual for guaranteed UR sometimes, so I would just save Visual for those collabs like we just talked about. So I probably wouldn't do this whether you're a new player, especially if you're an experienced player, but probably if you're a new player, I wouldn't do this either. Now you have this 2,000 paid Visual for a UR vision card summon. These are pretty good for like new players. If you really don't have any of these Espers, most of us have these. You do have a chance at Bahamut here, but Bahamut was just given out a couple weeks ago for paid Visual, so you probably already have that. So then we have a couple other things, leftovers. We go down here, we have these new guild banners. We talked about this a little bit with the King Mont. The King Mont one was a little more expensive. This one is going to be 5 million, 10 million, 10 million for unit shards. I actually kind of like these, whether or not you have Frederika or Ayaka or you're building them and you need shards for them. I just like the idea of getting a lot of MR unit shards, because as free-to-play or light spenders, we're probably spending a lot of our Visual and our hard quests on UR units, and our MR units we're just kind of building as we max them out from summons. This is a great way to pick up some extra shards for MR units and maybe a couple extra shards for some UR units as well. I actually kind of like these. I think anytime as free-to-play you can spend gil to get unit shards, especially not like Mont or Zazon, like the ones that are just you buy for gil. I think these are good deals. So I would spend a little bit of extra time farming up gil turtles on weekends and make sure I would pull on these. I'm going to try this out. I'm assuming these are going to stick around for a long time for new units. So I may revise my strategy on that or my advice on that, but I think all free-to-play players probably should pull on these because it's shards for gil. But you can see my gil's kind of running low, so I'm gonna see how this works, see if it's kind of worth it. I think if you keep pulling on these, you're gonna run out of gil, so maybe that's not good advice. But the vision card summons, I actually like this less than the unit summons, even though I like vision cards more than I like units. For free-to-play players, the MR vision cards aren't nearly as good as UR vision cards, and you're just basically grabbing a few extra shards for this card. Now, if you do get this card, 100% you're gonna pull on these gil banners. If you don't have this card, I think these are less valuable than the unit gil banners. You still could do it though if you have an excess of gil. I probably won't do the vision card one. I'll probably just do the unit one since I'm really short on gil here. And then lastly, they give us a new MR guaranteed every day, just like we had before. This is the finishing up of the unit one from the week before. This is the vision card one for this week, so you're gonna get vision cards with that. Let's move on to the shop. So real quick, when I went into my shop here, you can see I have my gil turtles built up. One thing about this gil as we move forward and get these gil banners more and more, what I would do is actually save up these gil turtles if you're able to, like I'm doing right here, and then wait until you have a month. Like you could wait till the start of a new month and spend your tokens to buff up that sell item price, and then in 1 month sell all of your gil turtles at once to get a huge boost to your gil. That's probably a pretty good idea if you're really wanting to pull on those gil banners. So min-maxing, free-to-play, light spenders, pretty much everybody probably should be doing this. Start saving up all of the gil turtles that you own and only sell them in a month when you spend those tokens on item sell price. That's your golden chocobo tip of the video right there. All right, moving on. The shop's pretty simple this week. We're gonna buy this every day. We're gonna buy all this stuff for gil, pretty obvious. Outside of the top stuff for gil, this is nice, by the way, new rainbow broadstone. Outside of all this stuff for gil, I don't really think there's anything in here worth buying personally. I wouldn't spend Visuar on any of these packs. I do want to talk about these daily vision card summon packs. We talked about this before with these 60 paid Visuar. To get a guaranteed UR, you have to spend, I believe, 120 or 180. It depends if you pull a UR on those free pulls, paid Visuar. Even if you have to spend 180, like you pull one UR and it's 180 for a guaranteed UR, if you really extrapolate that out, 10 guaranteed URs comes out to 1,800 paid Visuar, which is actually better than those 2,000 paid Visuar banners that give you 10 guaranteed URs. So technically, these are a better value if you're a light spender to get URs. Just throwing that out there. I don't think I would buy these. Still, I would just hoard that paid Visuar, but technically it's better value, so just thought I'd throw that out there. For the rest of these shops, there's really nothing new to talk about other than Frederika and Ayaka get a bunch of extra shard packs you can buy in here. Again, this is why I wouldn't be summoning on those banners. And then also, if you don't have your remove card your vision card maxed out, come in here and grab these shards. All free to play vision card shards, hard to get. Grab these. Make sure you grab these. In the Mog shop, we just have the tower medals, which is new. You're going to see a bunch of stuff that lets you build the blaze ring, which is new. We're going to talk about that in a second when we move over to the events. Other than that, if you don't have this crimson saber, you absolutely have to grab this. Pretty much every player needs to grab this sword. It's extremely good for Rain, makes him actually viable as a damage dealer. Not like a great damage dealer, but he becomes can do enough damage. And then also tank. This is great for Rain. Whether or not you're building Rain, make sure you grab this crimson saber. I think overall it provides you a little bit more value than that blaze ring or than some of this other stuff that you'll be able to buy with your tower medals. Other than that, there's nothing crazy in here. I would grab the Blossom of Paradise. These are super limited. And then other than that, maybe the rainbow sphere, but make sure that you get your blaze ring maxed out and everything you need to farm that up to to level 50. Lastly, we do have the tower that launched again this week. You can see it goes up to level 50 this time, and you get the reward of this blaze ring right here. This is basically like the water ring that we got from the last time the tower went through. Very, very similar in terms of stats and effectiveness. It's a good item, not completely necessary to be, to like run a strong fire team or something. It's just kind of a nice item, so don't feel like left out if you're a newer player. You start at the anniversary and you can't work your way up to this part in the tower. Not a big deal. Don't stress it. Other than that, I know Diggs is coming out with a good tower guide. I know a lot of content creators will be having tower guides to go through a lot of these floors. Depends how much time that you have, but you can run these on manual to try and get better scores or to make sure that you can get through the tower. A lot of experienced players can kind of just brute force this on auto, especially if you have a couple of new EX units like evade units, or Yuna can basically solo the whole tower by herself with Aeon Bond. Other than that, not much more to say about this. Hopefully we'll be able to get to this floor 50 sometime later this week, and I can put out a guide for that. My fire units, not very strong, so we'll see if we'll be able to tackle this when we get there later this week. Okay, lastly, I do want to talk about EX for both of these two units, specifically for free to play. I think both of Frederika and Ayaka are great free to play options for EX units. Frederika just being a lightning unit, she is still in JP one of the more deadly units in PvP, and she's a great unit for PvE also, being a gunner. So she's a fantastic EX unit. The other things that we get in terms of free to play for the lightning element, everyone had gotten 9S from the Nier collab, so everyone should have a strong at least 99 unit from the Nier collab that's a lightning unit. Really easy to EX as well. And then Selma was just given out last week as an MR. Basically all of her mind spheres and shards for free. You could get her to 120 as free to play. So just between 9S, Selma and Frederika, you can come up with a pretty strong, solid lightning team if you had nothing else basically coming into the Nier collab. You could have started the game at the anniversary and have a really strong free-to-play lightning team. So I suggest Frederika as an EX for everybody. I think she's a really great EX unit. She is very strong in both PvP and PvE, a great option for every account to EX. Ayaka, I think Ayaka is an invaluable healer unit. Now, if you have Yuna, obviously a lot of people got Yuna in the anniversary event. Yuna is going to outshine Ayaka in pretty much every way possible. Yuna is like the best unit in the game still, even in JP. So Ayaka, if you have Yuna, you don't need Ayaka. If you don't have Yuna, Ayaka still remains the single best healer in the game, and her 120 makes her even better. It's not required, but she can add AP to new units with EX, so I haven't decided if I'm EXing her or not. She still remains one of the only UR units that has full life, especially non-limited units, so Freyevia and Halloween Leela, and I believe Rosa are the other three that have full life. Ayaka's the only non-limited one that has full life, that makes her extremely valuable, and her limit break is extremely good in cleansing debuffs and also healing instant cast. Ayaka is an essential healer unit, so if you're a free-to-play player, you don't have a healer unit, you don't have Yuna, EX Ayaka is a great unit. She will carry you through PvE events. She is useful in PvP. You can definitely make her useful, but she won't be quite as impactful in PvP as she will in PvE events like the tower or brutal difficulty quests. Anyway, I hope you guys have a lot of fun trying out EX Frederika. I certainly am going to try and come out with some videos running her in class match or PvP to show her off a little bit. Thanks for watching, guys, and we'll catch you next time.